Okay, thanks, Adam.
All right, how about now? Yay. They were all working great 5 minutes ago. It is 10:04. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the 54th annual membership meeting to order. I want to thank everybody for coming, for taking time. Am I still there? Taking time out of your Saturday to be here.
You have to hold it to your mouth.
Okay. I got it. Sorry. But let's be real. How many of you are here because we get margaritas after? No, the margaritas aren't free. The food is, but there will be margaritas. To start off, I would like to ask Tony to go ahead and give the invocation this week.
Use your microphone.
Here you are.
Good morning, everybody. That's not on. Good morning.
Nope. We're using
The one that Lisa.
There you
Hello. Good morning. It's my pleasure this morning to give the invocation. I'm respectful of any and all persons' religious beliefs. However, I have patterned my invocation after the one God that I serve. And I hope that you will join with me in silence while we anticipate as we go forward through this meeting. In the book of Mark, Jesus was asked, which commandment is the most important of all? And he answered, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second commandment is you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And there is no commandment greater than these. So pray with me, if you will, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for your grace and mercy and for allowing us to convene this annual membership meeting. Our desire to do your work is at hand, and we ask that you continue to guide us as we tread these waters, at times murky waters. We know that it is by your will that we are here, and it is by your will that we succeed. We know that our failures and missteps as well are by your will, so that we might see our shortcomings. Loving God, we acknowledge the need for your presence in our midst. Father, grant us the humility to reset our agendas and place them at your feet. Bring peace and understanding to our hearts and minds. Help us to let go of pride and selfishness so that we may serve one another with love and compassion. We invite your divine peace to fill this space and our hearts. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
Honor
Honor
the
the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee. Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, let me go ahead and just introduce everyone this morning. The Vice President, Memo Guzman, is here. Our Secretary, Tony Hackerbill, is right here. Jason Long, our Treasurer. John Wiley, Director. Our wonderful General Manager, Charlena. And I'd also like to introduce, and actually Charlena, in 2 weeks will have been with us 1 year. So.
Yeah.
The first time we met her was at this meeting last year, so she braved us. And I'd also like to introduce our new executive secretary, Marisol. We wouldn't be here without her. We'd be a bigger mess than we are at this point. All right, now, do I have a motion? Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the annual meeting last year? Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the 53rd annual membership, March 30th, 2024 at this time. Approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes are approved. All right, the first item is an annual audit report, and I'd like to say a couple things before I call up David Mossberg. I want to summarize the journey that we've been on for the last 2 years. I became president in March of 2023, and we had no audit that year. Our last GM resigned in May, and in the same year, without engaging an auditor for our 2021-22 audit. We engaged an auditor and got to work finding all of the documents needed, and were able to present the 2021-22 audit to the membership this last year at the annual meeting. Then we set about working on the 2022-23 audit, which we were able to finish just this last December. Well, then we turned right around again and started on the 2023-2024 audit, which was finished in time for today. I'm happy to say that we are all caught up and current, getting 3 audits done in 2 years without a GM for a year of that. I want to thank Gabby, Gracie, Cindy, Letty, the RV Park, and everyone else for the amazing job they did gathering all the information in what's been sort of a chaotic year and a half. I also want to thank Charlena, who I dropped the whole thing in her lap for this last audit and let her do most of it herself. She didn't drown, and we got it done. If you would like a copy of the audit, you can request it from the office on Monday. Toward the end of today, Jen Fetty with Triumvirate will also give a financial overview and take questions from the membership. Now I will let David give you an overview.
Thank you, Lisa and the board for having us out today. As you can imagine, my audit report is probably going to be about as exciting as doing an audit. And so there's not a whole lot to it. Just a quick explanation of the audit. The audit is a compliance audit. The auditors, who are a third party, come in, they review the books, they review the bank accounts, and they review the financial reporting process. They then go through, create a checklist, provide us with either deficiencies, updates, or suggestions, and at the end of the audit, give us a report. The report came back with no deficiencies and only a couple of minor suggestions, which are just methodology questions. And so it gives us the opportunity to say, yes, we'd like to do something different, or no, we wouldn't, and we come back. So the audit report showed a clean report and a clean audit. So there were no deficiencies to manage through. The audit has been complete. As Lisa was saying, it's the third audit in a row. We went through quite a bit of gathering in the first audit. The second audit was a little smoother. This one, they actually went a little bit deeper than they had in the last couple of years. Again, Charlene, my partner Jen, spent a ridiculous amount of time going through all the documents that they requested back and forth with the audit team, who was a team out of South Lake, Texas. And we finished with flying colors. So the audit was very good. The process is just the process. We will go through the process once again next year and every year for the compliance of the organization. And we'll handle questions if anyone has any during the Q&A section of the agenda later. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. Now, I'd like Ms. Charlene to come up and give us a State of the Association address.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? I think I gave most everybody my hugs this morning. So bear with me. This is my first state of address. And I was told to make it not as long as I make my stuff at the board meeting every month. Sorry, don't know how to make that any shorter. So I'm just going to summarize the highlights. And then at the end, I do have some exciting news that I would like to share with everybody. And I've been waiting till today to do that. So here goes. Accomplishments. We got the front of the fort painted, probably within the first month I was there. The chain link fence, I remember the coffee ladies told me that I would be their hero if I got that fixed. Well, I got that fixed. RV park. Now, this is on the side of what Warren has done. So we did some work before they had come, but we replaced all the bathroom mats, shower curtains, vanity lights, extended the fence where the trash is contained so people didn't have to see it from the porch, painted the bathrooms, cleaned out the flower beds and dismantled some of them, seeded grass, the day room was cleaned and the cats there were removed along with the litter box, replacing tablecloths and new window shades, replaced outside lights at the entrance of the buildings, and power washed the porches. I'm sure I missed some stuff, but those are the highlights that I had in all my past GM notes. So there you go. Fitness center refresh. We replaced the outside lights there. We removed the drinking fountain because it was kind of unsightly. We painted outside trim, put a lock on the breaker boxes, power washed the sidewalks with graffiti, fixed missing stones. So the stonework was done with the help of Russell and his trusty guy. And then all of that was completed. Security, this was a big one. We replaced all the flooring, cabinets, we replaced the bathroom, put in a new key lock system, had stonework repair done there as well. And then for the hunting, we had new feeders were acquired. Thank you, Lee and Clay. And then we had a few stands that were purchased, and we will be working on the current stands that we have to make them bigger. And I'm sure I've missed some stuff, so just forgive me if I have, and you can chime in if I did. If you remember that I did miss something, just let me know. The service club, the flooring in the kitchen was replaced, refurbished the butcher block in the kitchen, installed new ceiling fans, repurposed the stainless steel sink from Dickman that was sitting there. Thanks to Warren, he did a lot of work over there. David Mann stepped in and helped as well. I believe Warren had some guys that kind of got sick that were going to help him with the flu, I think. But all in all, I think it turned out beautiful. So thank you. The Creekside Pro Shop. The green room was redone by Megan Bell, all by herself. She repainted, put new curtains in. It looks like a whole new room. It's absolutely beautiful. There was a new pump installed on the golf course because our other one failed. And then the patio chair, well, not the chairs, the tables were redone, and the whole patio looks amazing. And thanks to David Mann. Motel, admin building. We had Patton Hall. When I first got here a couple months, I believe 2-3 months after I was here, there was another, the first support beam that I knew about had to be replaced. We had BMG out here that did that. And then we had new bedspreads bought for the motel rooms. We're working on removal of the carpet at some point in time. I guess I didn't take that off. Maintenance painted the fountain in the arbor, got it running again. I put new plants, mulched the whole area, but more work still needs to be done. Before I forget, I wrote notes down here. Cassie was a big component of getting the election ready. She did all the work for it, and next year it'll be passed on to Marty Soul. She helped her, but I do want to give a shout out, even though she's not working for us anymore, and I didn't want to forget. So those are my notes. We resodded the front of the office, making it more appealing. New programs that we have. We've invested in a new HOA platform, which is Buildium, and Triumvir has been a big help. Jason's been a huge help, and I appreciate all of the help with that. And various other people have been helped, but I'm not going to name them all because then I'll be here all day. Volunteer/member help. David Mann, like I said, helped with the Creekside patio. He also stepped up because we do know that there are 2 more supports that need to be replaced at the motel. So as soon as I let him know that it was a safety issue, he came and put a support to support the supports that need replacing. Say that one 10 times. So until we can figure out how to move forward, I think after speaking with Aaron, we will have a way. And then David Loftus and Memo Guzman volunteered at the Ghostly Tour as narrators. Hunter drove the truck. I know I had one more person, I can't remember their name, but I thank them. Frances, Janet and her hubby, Vanessa, Cassie, Loftus, Patty Johnson, and John. I believe they're married now. And forgive me if I'm wrong. Clay Couples, Lee Gilby, Russell Noel, Rose, Steph Calderon, Warren, Roger. There's so many people that I could keep naming and naming, but those are the ones that were on the top of my head. And I just want to say thank you because I know from experience that the fort wouldn't survive if we didn't have these fantastic volunteers that help us all the time. And thank you to everybody out there. I mean, really. Projects that are in the works. I know you've been hearing about this for quite some time and it has been a challenge. I'm working on it, street striping. I've got bids or we're gonna buy our own. So that's just out there. I know speed bumps. I'm gonna be working on those because I too see the speeders and I'm constantly putting my first finger out there to them. So sometimes I'd like to do another, but I don't. I have to be very professional. I do want to put out there though, I know that the streets need to be repaired. I know everybody wants to talk to me individually on that. But I do tell you, I know every single place that is broken and needs fixing, and I promise we are working on that. But it's going to be very, very expensive. So that's all I'm going to put out there. I'm working on a landscaping project. You might see some of the goodness down by the pool today when you all go to eat. Tell me what your thoughts are on what the pool looks like or around the pool area. And we are working on a lot of marketing initiatives. So I think I've got everything that I want to say except this. Everybody has been dying to find out if Spectrum paid us. Everybody had input on it, had their ideas, and all I want to say is this. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because my mom always told me, you can't say something nice, don't say something at all. And from my military experience, from my kids that were military, from my dad that was military, and from me who worked in military housing for 13 years, I don't like saying mean things, so I won't. So I'll keep it nice. You hired me as a GM. You hired me to do a job. If somebody owed us money, I'm not going to let that walk away. But there was a lot of people that did not have that faith in me. And that's very disappointing for me. So I'll say this, please have more faith in me to do my job. And that I have no agenda, like there is a lot here. I don't have an agenda other than what will benefit the fort. That's it. End of day. We've been paid. The money's in the bank. And I will tell you this, what you all don't know, I spend hours after work. I spend hours on weekends, multiple emails, and I talk to the owners. I can't tell everybody that every single day, but I was relentless. And I also know I can go to the media. Nobody needs to remind me that. That's like the number one thing you would do if you're not going to get stuff done. But I didn't have to do that because I did it and they came through and end of story. Thank you, everybody. My first address.
Thank you, Charlene.
You are welcome here.
All right, where are we at now? Okay. All right, I'd like to go ahead and recognize our board committees. Please stand when I list your committee if you're here and stay standing until we recognize all the committees. Airport Committee, Architectural, and I know some of you are here, so I'm gonna make you stand up. Golf Committee, Historical Preservation, right? Recycling, and the election committee. Without these committees, these committees are vital to our association. And of course, they are always looking for volunteers. So if you're interested, please contact the office or one of these wonderful volunteers. We could not do, the fort would not run like it does without them. So I want to thank all of you for that. I would like to also recognize Community Council. They're not a board committee, but a 501c3 nonprofit that is vital to this association and promoting the history and education to the youth and just in general benefiting the fort. Thank you. All right, John Wiley, if you'll come up and present Member of the Year, Volunteer Member of the Year.
Good morning, everybody. Okay. What a wonderful place that we live in, that every year there's a Volunteer of the Year award. Usually with so many volunteers, it's hard to pick who should receive this award. As usual, though, there's always someone, or in this case, someones, that rise to the top. I'll start with the honorable mentions. Clay and Lee Gilby, if you'll come up here, recognition for the hunt program.
Better come up. You have to come up.
These aren't frisbees.
Come on. Come on.
Okay.
Take a picture. Wait, come take a picture.
Oh, y'all want to take pictures?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, y'all gotta come over here.
You have to come over.
Come this way, be careful. Be careful.
Oh, you're starting to.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Up on the stage. They have to go on the stage. Ready? 1, 2. Beautiful.
The Olivers for work on the post to you.
John, do you want the mic over there? Careful, man.
We're making the board volunteers.
Your rope swing.
What's your husband go? He stepped out. That's okay.
Mr. Warren Thompson for various projects statewide.
Good, I am. Yeah.
Excuse me if I say this wrong, Roger Bazier for also various projects statewide.
Canada.
He's gonna accept it for Roger.
Okay.
Hey, Roger went back to Canada. He made it there Thursday afternoon, and he really appreciates all of your help and all your support, and thank you.
For their unshakable dedication to the fort. They both have served in almost every capacity this association has to offer, including community council, architectural committee, preservation committee, volunteers at Settler Store, museum, and also the unwavering dedication to Fort Clark Days. Even more impressive is they have done this with grace, kindness, love, quietly, and with integrity that we could all mirror, and an amazing example they have set for us all. Unfortunately, we have lost one of these volunteers this year. However, their examples of stewardship and integrity will not be forgotten. Please welcome posthumously Mr. H.N. Bitter and Ms. Frances Bitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're all coming over here.
Oh, yeah. Close your mind, soul. Okay, there you go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Beautiful. Yay.
I had a member request to speak this morning. Mrs. Kelly Perry, would you like to come up?
Is this empty? Is that empty? Am I using this garbage?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. Can y'all see us? Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, y'all. My name's Kelly Perry, and I personally have only lived here 11 years. My husband's lived here 25. And in being asked to speak today, my first question I asked was, have I lived here long enough to speak up? I was told it's best to have lived here more than 2 years, to attend at least one yearly meeting, and to have experienced in person and online at least 5 board meetings. So with that checklist all done, I qualify. However, I have not yelled at anyone yet. And I pray that my feet never hurt so bad I feel it's necessary that I do raise my voice. I'll be short on my points. There's a lot of papers, but I blew it up to a 72 font so I can see it up here. I personally spend a lot of time fighting for our district and our community at a state level. In case you're not aware, in legislation right now, we are fighting for bills and laws for our groundwater districts. We need your help. It's all about drought and new technology, which we need, and we need knowledge of, as well as how all of this will affect the lithium battery storage and possible fires in our county. My specialty would be considered effective communication, which is why I'm up here right now. My points I'd like to convey are simple. Many of us have great ideas. However, if they are not presented to the board without the proof of data and knowledge of, or when these ideas are backed up by fact, these ideas are just perceived as ideas. They carry no clout. The board will politely listen to you. Now, I'm the first one to say that we have some pretty smart people here on the board, but if you think that they're always telling you the truth, think twice. It's not always fact. Many times it can just be an opinion. And when you voice that opinion without the fact, then you're called out on it and you're wondering where that other person started. If you really want change somewhere, real change, you must be willing to volunteer, which we hear there's a lot that do that, which is wonderful. I am at that age, but I'm not retired yet. We need to understand that our priorities with the ideas need to be given to the board, but they will not always be given the priority that you personally think it needs. I've been told that there are part-time positions that have not been filled. So immerse yourself, have some fun with it. Even though you're retired, your brain and your body are still needed. There are times when people talk at meetings that it's actually hard to hear what they're trying to convey. They again speak without real knowledge on a subject by doing research and basically just sometimes sound to me like their feet hurt. Many times it would get more attention through an email instead of trying to convey their thoughts at a meeting. Keep in mind that your suggestions will be prioritized. If you have a major concern, at the end of the day, we have to understand that the positions of the board members are volunteer positions. And what does that mean? It means that time away from their families, doing things they enjoy, spending time with friends, vacationing, or hell, even just watching TV. These people care about you, the fort as a whole, and trying to maintain your property values. Now, some of you might agree with me and others may not. But if you have elected these board members, it is because they have chosen to give up a very big part of their life to be a volunteer for you. These people understand the code of ethics they have to abide by. So please respect them and let them lead. You'll love this next part. For you mighty keyboard warriors, just like the trash people, look at the big picture. In the future, this is going to narrow down our choices for good board members. There are a few people, I think, that schedule it into their planners. It says on there, let's see if I can raise the blood pressure today at Fort Clark Springs. They do not want to serve on the board because they don't want to give up their time. They want you to, but they always seem to have an opinion online. They truly believe they are smarter than any of you. And if you engage, you are definitely being played. But that's your choice if you choose to be. I'm only up here to ask you to respect your board, respect their time. Let them do their job or run against them. Don't spend this time just attacking them. These are good people. If you have a thought or complaint, call them. Since I've lived here, we've been through, I think, 5 general managers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a fort problem and not necessarily a general manager problem. We have to understand, one, we are caught within the confines of who we can afford. And can they do that job? And are they willing to work with us? We are constantly being hurt by the social media reports about the GMs that have gone on before. I think they have a past Fort Clark Springs GM Anonymous Club, but it is basically how our community treated them or welcomed them. It talks about the tax on them, and it speaks in depth of the micromanaging of the GM by our members here. So think twice. In case someone was trying to suck you in to take on those dumb remarks on the internet, think twice. We do need people that want this job. We want them to want to be here. So please help stand them up and not just tear them down. To end my tirade, this is your community. We all know that. We all work hard to pay for our homes. We all love the fort. I just encourage you to take time to evaluate. Decide what you can change and decide what you can't change. Then educate yourself before jumping into the fray. For the most part, we really do have a bunch of wonderful people that live here with us. I personally love my neighbors and friends and all that I know, but I encourage you to be positive and to try to see the big picture of the ongoing of the fort now, before, in the future. And most importantly, decide where you personally fit into that picture. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was really fun. Yeah, what we've all been waiting for. I would like to call up Joel Cruz from the CPA firm that has done our election, and he's going to read the results.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning, all. Good morning, sir. The results of the 2025 Fort Clark Springs Board of Directors election are being read for the first time at this meeting. A total of 964 ballots were received by our firm. A total of 527 ballots were deemed valid. A total of 437 ballots were deemed invalid as per guidelines established on ballots. The breakdown of the 437 ballots deemed invalid is as follows. 385 ballots were undelivered ballots. 6 ballots did not have signature. 36 ballots were not received in their own envelope. And 10 ballots did not pay postage.
We'll read those again. We'll read them.
The breakdown of the votes for the 527 ballots that were deemed valid is the following. Candidate Aaron Mendiaz received 319 votes. Candidate Lisa Bale received 218 votes. Candidate Sharon Wolf received 286 votes. Candidate Warren Thompson received 132 votes. Writing candidate Brittany Wiley received 5 votes. Writing candidate Chad Oates received 3 votes. Writing candidate Chase Newman received 1 vote. Writing candidate Debbie Isaacs received 2 votes. And writing candidate Tony Hagedorn received 1 vote. Writing candidate Chad Newman received 1 vote. Therefore, the 2 open positions on the board of directors will be fulfilled by Aaron Mendiaz, who received 319 votes, and Sharon Wolf, who received 286 votes. Thank you.
Is that all?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Sorry. What is yours?
I have to pick up this first. Do you want to?
Thank you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and reread those results for everyone. A total of 964 ballots were received by their firm. A total of 527 ballots were deemed valid. A total of 437 ballots were deemed invalid per the guidelines established on the ballot. And the breakdown is as follows. 385 ballots were undelivered ballots. We sent out to all the non-conforming. So we expected a lot back because of that. The ones that had been inactivated for quite a few years. 6 ballots did not have a signature on it. 36 ballots were not received in their own envelopes. And 10 ballots did not pay postage. The breakdown of the 527 ballots are as follows. Candidate Aaron Mendiaz received 319 votes. Candidate Lisa Bale received 218. Candidate Sharon Wolf received 286 votes. Candidate Warren Thompson, 132 votes. Brittany Wiley received 5 votes as a write-in. Write-in Chad Potts received 3 votes. Write-in Chase Newman received 1 vote. Write-in Debbie Isaacs, 2 votes. Write-in Tony Hackerbill, 1 vote. And write-in Chad Newman, 1 vote. So your 2 new board members are Eric Van Diaz with 319 votes and Sharon Wolf with 286. So if those candidates will come up and Memo Guzman will swear you in.
I. I. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will uphold and support. The declarations of protected restrictions. Declarations of protected restrictions. Bylaws and regulations. Bylaws and regulations. Governing the administration of Fort Clark Springs. Governing the administration of Fort Clark Springs. I further swear that I will represent. I further swear that I will represent. The interests of the membership. The interests of the membership. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations. Y'all can take your seats.
Tony, it's a pleasure, my friend. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Lisa.
We're not done yet. No, they'll sit back here until we adjourn this meeting. There are seats back.
They can't go.
Oh, where did they go? There was 2 seats. Oh,
There's one over here.
oh. Sorry about that. We have 2 seats in the back until we adjourn this.
Oh, we got it.
Look, read.
Sharon over here, Sharon.
Don't fall in.
Be careful.
Yeah.
So enthusiastic.
Sorry.
At this point, Jason will give the announcements. Then Jen, Betty will come up and give us an overview of the financials and answer questions or concerns that you might have. And there might be some that they have to defer to the board that fall under their purview. After which we will adjourn the meeting and the board will select their officers. And I'll come back to close the meeting and then the new directors will. Well, choose their officers, so.
All right. I want to extend a hearty welcome to our new directors. And don't have that many announcements, but the next meeting's on March 28th, 2026 annual meeting, and the next board meeting is going to be in April 26th, next month. And one more thing, the visitor center has been redone across from the service club by Bill Hahn, and you're welcome to go have a look at it. I believe it's open. It's got historical materials and such. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Jen, come on down.
Hi. My name is Jen Fetty. I'm with Triumvir Financial, and we were engaged about almost a year and a half ago at overhauling the financial system. So first, I'd like to say thank you to the board, everybody sitting here, for making that possible. And for those of you that don't know, we took really an accounting system that I call archaic. You know, it was kind of built and designed in the 70s and 80s and really made it just a functioning, beautiful system. So very transparent for anybody that has questions is why Lisa has invited us here today. And just like to remind everybody that there is a process put in place if anybody has specific questions. So to please follow that procedure, and we'll get to those requests by the board directed. As far as the audit goes, it was a beautiful thing this last time. The first two audits that Lisa really powered through to make those happen timely and to get this one done today. It was a great audit. Everything was transparent. We had very few adjustments. We're very happy with this audit. A couple of the new things that are happening is the engagement of Peerless CFO Services, and they're going to be helping in what I would like to say is the biggest downside of our accounting system, which is our accounts receivable, right? We need to make money to continue to operate. And as the kickoff of Buildium that Jason has been working very hard at, as that comes online in the next month or two, Peerless is going to step in and start really tracking down some money for you guys. So state of the financials, we're losing money, right? That's what we always do. But with some of Charlena's efforts, because she's really trying hard to generate some cash wherever she can with beautiful systems and things that I think will put into place for you guys to have longevity and not come at the cost of your member dues. Now I'll ask questions. And if nobody has any, that's good. None? Three times. All right, go for it, Clark.
Good job. Jen, I'll ask a question.
Yeah.
Jen,
You're not on.
On the right.
It wasn't very long ago that some of the members had concerns about the difference between accrual and a cash accounting. And from your perspective and your position and your experience, can you please explain both of those briefly to us and how they relate to this association?
Yes, of course. So, first I'd like to say that the accounting system that you guys have built, if you didn't notice, if you look around, you really have a lot of areas of revenue, and we have to put those all together to make sense in one financial document that's easy to read and that's transparent when it's given to you every month, that it kind of makes sense. We like that to make sense for you, so that if you're looking at things in an accrual basis, accrual means that we're reporting all revenues as they're billed and all expenses as they're billed and not received. So that if we say we have sent out all the invoices this month and the total of that was $100,000, but we only received 50, that's important, right? Do we want to know that we are running on a $100,000 budget or 50,000? And cash in the bank is gold, right? And so that's why we love the cash basis for reporting, because it gives us actuals. They're real numbers. They're totals. If we're working in accrual, well, that means that those are anticipated, right? Hopefully we'll get that money. I'll tell you the difference right now is very large in our receivables. And so the more receivables that we have out there, the less cash on our P&L, the less money. And so the point of reporting in accrual is because we have to for compliance. Our audit is mandated to be performed on an accrual basis, but the books that we've designed for you do both. And so QuickBooks is easy as flipping the balance sheet and your profit and loss between the cash and accrual. And they're both relevant. They're both important for different reasons, but they're both available to you. So we like to report on the cash basis so that the numbers make sense, they're relevant, we know what incomes we've made. It's not fun to look at fake numbers, right? And that's really where accrual leads to. When we look at firms and companies that have been in trouble, Enron comes to mind, things like that. All of that is available to be altered on an accrual basis only, not cash. So cash is gold, cash is money in the bank. That's what we like to see.
Good morning, Judge. Thank you for coming. I want to get back to the conversation that you and I had About November of last year, we were discussing the different phases that should be presented to the membership on a monthly basis. If you were a homeowner here as a CPA, what would you want to see? I believe there were 3 statements that you mentioned, and how do you think we can get to the point where those statements can be presented in a consumable format for the membership each month?
Yes, so those reports are already available. They're available to the board and anybody that has insight directly into the books. And so first the document request, right? And so each member wants to see things how they like to see it. But the fact is that we need to report in a way that makes sense for the broad population. So cash basis, again, is wonderful. Accrual is available. And it's available currently.
Right, and I understand that. I'm not speaking about rule or cap. I'm saying since we're operating on a cash basis, and that is a more simplistic way to look at what we're looking at, and you said that it is, money in, money out, I get that. But if you only get a P&L, what else do you need in order to see the full financial picture for that month?
Balance sheet.
And
Depending on the board, right? They're in charge of, if you'd like, yes, cash flow statement.
But those three documents together would provide you a full picture.
Right, if I can address that real quick, the statement of cash flows is simply the combination of the balance sheet and P&L. So if you understand the statement of cash flows, you'll understand the other 2 documents that you're already receiving. So the statement of cash flows is simply a combination of the 2. So if you're asking a question to make it more transparent, I think it would simply confuse the matter. If you can't read the balance sheet and understand the difference between the 2, you're never going to be able to understand the statement of cash flows.
Understood. So the 2 documents then that we should see to get a good financial picture of the numbers would be.
I would, again, it depends on what you're looking for, like Jen addressed, but the profit and loss statement tells you how much money came in, how much money went out. And then, of course, depending on how much more micro you want to get, my recommendation is then get involved with the board to deal with them. I mean, you're talking about the organization does over 4,000 transactions a month.
Right.
So if you wanted to see that level of detail, it's probably not. You're asking digestible for the majority of the population. The profit and loss to me is a homeowner, which I also am a homeowner. I have a homeowners association that reports to us, and really the profit and loss tells me enough to be able to ask questions.
Right, and so P&L then does not show though all the transactions for the month, even like we have things that come off the balance sheet, correct?
That is correct.
And so that's why I'm asking, if you have transactions that are in your operating expenses and then your capital price.
Maybe I can make a more direct suggestion. If you as a homeowner would like to see different statements provided to you, we're preparing them, address the board.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The last thing I'd like to say before I wrap up is just a really big appreciation for the work that Lisa has done for the association, getting these financials, working with us to get the financials in order. And I mean, they're beautiful books. You guys have just really beautiful books. It's one of my most proud projects, and I do a lot of big projects. The amount of money that you guys would have spent on somebody to do that type of assistance, that of course Lisa did for free. Same with building. Because if you guys wanted to, get that system online a little bit quicker, it's going to cost some dollars, and I'm talking a lot of dollars. So I'm talking 20, 25,000. So it's a lot of work that has been done by the board members at no cost. And Charlena, I mean, we don't pay her enough. Don't tell her, she could be making a lot more money with a lot less stress, but she loves this place as we do too, and she does it, with a heart for you all. I appreciate your time. John has requested to.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna speak off the cuff a little bit, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's because there's so many people here. We got a captive audience that we don't generally have. Wish everybody would show up to the board meetings. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed that people didn't have more questions for Triumph. And maybe that's because they're so articulate and professional, and there's not a lot of questions to ask. But I want to share why I'm here. I I didn't run a campaign to get on this board as a write-in candidate because I was mad at somebody or because I thought the board was doing a horrible job or whatever. I ran for the board because I thought I could make a difference. I thought that I could help change this place. And while those ambitions have been, succumbed to the beating pretty well, there is a difference that can all be made here. And I hope that we've all taken that away through the volunteering of all the great people that do volunteer. But I want to make a point. When I came in here, I thought there had to be a gaping hole somewhere, right? There had to be a gaping hole. And we all feel that way. And I was just explaining this to Tony just a few minutes ago, that I sat out there thinking there had to be this gaping hole that I could fill, that I could find, a hole in the boat that I could seal. And when I did that, the association would have expendable income. But it doesn't have, it's not real. It doesn't exist. But yet, when you're sitting on this side, you realize it doesn't exist. When you sit on that side, there's still a lot of people that do think it exists. And we understand that. And because of that, we have a lot of patience for a lot of stuff that comes our way, but sometimes it is very hard. But let me tell you what I've learned after 2 years of sitting here through the trials and tribulations that I've watched probably one of the greatest volunteers to ever serve in this community, which is Lisa Bell, go through, and certainly Charlena. There is no fraud in this association. What there is there's no money. Okay? By my estimation, we would need $15 to $20 million to get this place back to what all the keyboard warriors glorify as the golden days of the Fourth. $15 to $20 million. I'm not off by much. I might be under. So I want everybody to go home and I want you to think about that number. I want you to really think about that number. Because we run on a shoestring budget where we might have, in a good year, 100 or 200,000, in a really good year, $100 to $200,000 spendable budget. Okay, we're in a 4-year drought. We don't have a pool. It's not coming back this year, more than likely. And this cycle may not stop. Our hotel is generally guaranteed to earn us in 350-ish range every year. The RV park 350 to 400, somewhere in that ballpark. And yes, the golf course is almost guaranteed to lose money. But at the end of the day, there are no gaping holes in this association, as has been accounted for in 3 audits, independent audits. And you've just witnessed Triumvir standing up here saying that we have some of the cleanest books there are around. I want everybody to really think about that. We need money. We don't need battles. We don't need fights. It doesn't matter what board is serving up here. It doesn't matter. They don't have expendable income to make stupid decisions. They don't. So at the end of the day, whether you have a radical board or a board that's viewed as absolutely perfect, the amount of window that they have to make any real difference in the money that is spent in the association, you won't even buy a car. So I just want, I think, I feel called to say this to you because this is my testimony of serving here for y'all for 2 years. And not only me, but my wife. You know, she's been a super volunteer in this association. We have dedicated our time to association to understand and learn and to help. And at the end of the day, I just want everybody to know that what you're hearing is true. What you just heard from Triumvir is true. What you just heard from the audit is true. They're facts. You can look it up. You can get whatever, you can get a copy. You can get whatever balance sheet you want to look at, and it's not going to make any difference. The facts are still the facts. We have no money. So unless somebody wants to go talk to George Soros, this place is going to have a really hard time to grow and to change. And I think our time we better spend with every volunteer trying to get grants. I mean, honestly. So plug that into your calculator, think about it, talk to your neighbors. We need volunteerism. We need help. But as many people have spoke today and in the past, attacking the board, attacking each other, attacking your neighbor, do it all you want, but it's not going to change anything. The only thing that will change this association is money in the bank. That's the problem we have to solve. And not $100,000. We need a lot of money to bring this place back. And I think as a community, we can solve this problem. It will take decades, but we can solve this problem. But if we sit here and if you put everything in that compartment, and you say, what are we really fighting about? You're fighting about a car. All these people on the floor fighting about the cost of a car. We need to be fighting for the association, for the $500,000 a year we need to repair roads over the next 10 years, for the $1 million it would take to renovate Dignam. These are the things that are worth fighting for. But fighting for $50,000 in our budget that honestly doesn't mean a hill of beans in the big scheme of the world, it's not worth fighting for. So I feel called to say that. That's my testimony of being here for 2 years. And I hope that not just you, but me, that we can all heal and keep working towards that goal of making this place better. Thank you.
Before I ask for a motion to adjourn as my final act as president and member of the board for this year, I would like to thank the membership for the opportunity that you gave me when you elected me, the opportunity to serve this community, and I thank you all for your support. Now, do I have a motion, since this is a membership meeting, to adjourn? I have a motion from Sandy Hagan. If we need a second from Kat Trissler. I always want to say Tisler, sorry. Kat. And once we adjourn, they will pick their officers. So, all in favor? All right. Have a good lunch.
But we're going to do
Jason Long will remain as be Vice President of Fort Clark Springs, and Ms. Sharon will be Secretary of Fort Clark Springs. And your friendly walker, Memo Guzman, will be President of Fort Clark Springs. Wow. Repeat the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. For this, we got to repeat this for the stream. The new officers for Fort Clark Springs will be, Jason Long will remain as treasurer. Aaron Mendez will be director at large. John Wiley will be vice president of Fort Clark Springs. And Ms. Sharon will be our secretary of Fort Clark Springs. And I will be president of Fort Clark Springs this coming year. My goal is to have malice toward none and charity for all this coming year. Let's do our best. Thank you.
All right.
Are these for
The Fort Clark meeting, annual meeting is adjourned as of
Okay.
right now.
They just